Hello, this is Mandy with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today's class is Database Overview. Now, if you're here with me live, definitely drop your questions in the chat. I'll either answer them as I'm teaching or no worries. If I don't happen to see it, I will stay a couple of seconds after class and help get those answered for you as well. Now, if you're watching this back on recording, you can always reach out to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'll be happy to help. So, with today's class being database overview, it is an overview. I'm going to try to cover probably the most basic tasks you need to be able to get your contacts into your command, get them organized, get them ready to market to, and then also some neat features like how to organize your contacts and also how to export or archive and delete. We'll also be going over how to find duplicates and merge those as well. And importing contacts, I'm going to show you some details with that as well, depending on if you use your own file or the command file. So covering a lot of information. Again, if you have questions, drop them in the chat for me as we go. You can also always reach us at that email that I shared previously. Okay, excellent. We got a couple more people coming in. Good size class today, guys. So let's just go ahead and log into our command here, and we'll go right to our contacts tab. Over here on the left-hand side are your tabs, aka applets, is what they used to be referenced as. So you can always click the red square to pop the name out if you're not super familiar yet with the icons. But contacts is going to be right here, second one from the top, little person in the square. First thing, always make sure that you're in the right profile that you want to be in before you jump into work on your contacts. And what I mean is some agents are on teams. And if you are on a team, just zooming in here for you, if you're on a team, you will have two different contact databases. So I just want to show you the difference to make sure that you're on the one that you intend to be on before you work on your contacts. This is the personal profile. You can see that by seeing that it is just Scott's name right here at the top right, which would just show your name. And then also here on the top left, you should also see your name reflected right there. If you are on your team, you would click on your name up here, choose your team profile. Notice that the contacts tab updates. It now is showing that these are the team contacts. And you also see your team mentioned up here at the top right. Okay, so just quick tip there, make sure you are on the contacts that you need to be on when working on them. Okay, so for today, we're going to swap back to the personal profile. And now that we've gone over that, let's just do a little bit of general navigation on this screen just to get you familiar with everything. So over here on the left, you do have a search field where you can search through your contacts. Anytime you see this arrow that points down, you have some options there where you can narrow down your search. However, we highly recommend just leave it on everything. That search field will pull apart information on those contacts, like even part of their phone number or part of their email address. If you can only remember a portion of it, leaving this checked to everything will help you find that contact faster. Next are going to be your filters. I'm going to click this so you can see your filters open over here to the right. Let me minimize a couple of them so that you can see all of them. You even have advanced filters up here in the top right that you can go through and sort your contacts. I'm going to close that. Then you also have your smart view right here. If you come in here and you filter through your contacts, let's say you find all the ones that just recently were active on your app or your website, or maybe if you're doing lead gen, you want to find all of your contacts that are marked as a lead, which you can tell by this little L right here. Once you've set all your filters and you're looking at those contacts, you can actually come to Smart View and create a Smart View and save it. You'll name it and save that Smart View. And that way you don't always have to go through all of those filters every time, especially if it's a view that you know you will be using often, like lead genning every morning or things like that. That way, when you come into your command, you can just come to your smart views and choose which one it is that you want to see right then. It's a really great feature. There's even a smart view default. You can click manage smart views and choose a default smart view that will allow you to see that same view of your contacts every time you log into Command or your Command Mobile. Over on the right-hand side, these are going to be the options to add in contacts. We're going to jump into these in depth today. The one on the left is import, which means multiple contacts, right? And in the middle, you'll see add contact. This is to add a solo contact, just one at a time. Over on the far right, the three ellipses, you can click that. And there's some options here to check your account for duplicates. It will begin a scan for you. I'll show you that towards the end of class. You can export all of your own contacts, which will give you a copy of all of your contacts in Command on this profile into a spreadsheet. And then you have some options here for mailing labels as well. Two different types of files, one for a spreadsheet, one for a PDF. Down here at the bottom, you'll notice this little bar. It says looking for more. There is one contact in your team account that matches the search that we've done because we do have filters on. You will not see this if you do not have a team, but if you're looking for something and something matches on your team profile contacts, you can always click right here to switch over and view that contact. So it's just a little bit of a shortcut. That will not always be there, so don't be alarmed if you don't see that in yours. Next, you'll have your place where your contacts are actually shown to you. Down here at the bottom, there is a little bit of customization that you can do here. Notice with the name, it is clickable and I can sort first name or maybe by last name, A to Z, Z to A. Some of your other columns, you'll also notice they have an arrow that show up when you hover over them. That helps you sort through those as well. You can just click that and it'll sort through, give you the most recent date to the oldest or reverse. And then over to the right, you'll notice customize columns. You can click that and choose which information you want to show on these columns. So if you're not on a team, maybe owner and assignee are not important, things like that. You can click or unclick which ones you want to show. And on the right-hand side, you can actually drag and drop the ones that are most important to you. So you can do that here and click apply once you're done. You also have two other customizable options right here. One on the left will show your contacts in list view. That's what you're currently seeing now. And then you do have a tile view, and I'll just click that just to show you how it does change. You don't have your columns with this view, so you lose some of your sorting options. It's a little bit different, but some people do prefer it. So just know that you can come in here and adjust this like you would like. I'm going to put it back on the list view. And last but not least, just again for some general navigation here, right here you can show up to 500 contacts at a time if you're working with a larger database. And we always recommend making sure you're showing up to the 500 so you'll see the most you can right here on this first page. All right, now that we've gone over some of the general navigation of this tab, I actually want to jump into how to get your contacts into your database, right? First, let's go over importing them. And then secondly, I'll go over how to add them individually. Okay. So the first way would be to import. If you click the import button right here, there's two different files that you can use, or two different types of files that you can use to import your contacts. They all need to be a spreadsheet. Think of like a Google Sheets document or either an Excel spreadsheet. That's what I mean when I say spreadsheet. It absolutely works best if it's a CSV file, and all that means is just comma separated value. I'll be able to show you that here in just a second. But just know it just needs to be a spreadsheet. So uploading like a PDF document would not work. At the top, you'll notice there's an option to download a template. This is the command provided template. It is optional. You do not have to use it, but it does kind of help you guide through what information to import. So I'm going to start with that today and just show you what that template looks like. This is the template. I've bolded it and made it a little bit larger in font just so it'll show up on your screen a little bit better. I'm actually going to spread my columns out a little bit more too, just to help make it super clear. So you'll notice it has double headers at the top. So it can get a little confusing as you scroll across if you're not familiar with what it's asking you to do. And so that's why I want to make sure today, as we go through, that I'm being able to show you what to put in what columns. It does have to be formatted in a certain way for it to work. So I'm just going to quickly walk you through this and put in a fake contact on this sheet just to show you. So we'll just start with demo with the first name in demo, middle name, last name. If you have a prefix or a suffix, you can put full legal name if you would like. It is not a required field. So it will actually combine first and last name or whatever you've entered into these other fields to make the full legal name if you don't have anything in this column. There's an about field. You can pretty much enter anything here. It's pretty flexible. You may want to consider like their company name or what they do for a living or the way that you personally know them that would help indicate that for you. Birthday and home anniversary. Now, there's several ways that you can format the birthday and the home anniversary. The key is you need to have all three parts, meaning you need to have the month, day, and year. So it's not super picky about how you enter that. I could come in here and enter it this way. I could type it out manually if I wanted to. You could write it military style. It really does not matter. You can just come in here and put it in any way you see fit, and it will most likely work. So just the key is, again, have all three parts, month, date, and year. That goes for the home anniversary column as well. Okay. And so go ahead and enter those, and we'll slide on over. And now here we are at the phones. Now notice that it has three different options. In fact, yep, four different options. There's other phone way over yonder. Slide back over. So we have cell phone, home phone, work phone, or other phone over here. You can have a phone number for all four of those, just a few of them, or just one. There's no requirement. Okay, as long as your contact has a first name, it can be imported. So if you only have maybe an email address but no phone, or maybe just a phone but no email, it's okay. It will work and still import. The key here is notice these columns in between. It's asking, is that the primary phone number for this contact? You will want to put a capital Y in one of the columns beside the primary number. So if for this contact we had, let's just put in a cell phone number here. And again, also the formatting for this, guys, is super easy. You just want to make sure that you've got 10 digits in there. You can separate it with hyphens, periods, parentheses, however you would like to, it will go. I have seen it mess up if you have like the +1 sign, if you're exporting this out of another database or wherever, and they automatically put like a +1 before the number. You may want to remove that as well. Otherwise, it should work as long as it's that 10 digits, okay? But you can enter it as however you would like. So we'll just enter the phone numbers. And now, since our contact has two phone numbers, I have to mark which one is primary. Even if you just have one phone number for them, it still needs to be marked primary. Okay, so the primary one will be what command uses to mark it to that contact. So if you do automated text or anything like that, this will be the phone number that your system is using. So definitely put a capital Y in the column right beside the phone number that is their primary. Even if you only have one number, you still have to mark one of these primary columns, okay? Since we've marked that primary, we do not have to put a Y beside any other number. We're going to slide on over and do our emails. It's pretty similar. We have personal email, work email, and other email. Notice we have the columns asking us which one is primary. So you can enter whichever one, whichever column that applies to that person, whatever type of email you have for them. So we'll just go, okay. And then once we've entered that email, let me slide it over so you can see your columns. We'll just put a capital Y in that column right beside it. Okay. You have to have it even if you just have one email, just like the phone number. This will be the email that the system uses for all the marketing. So that's why it's important which one you put the Y beside. Okay. Sliding on over now that we're done with the emails. And I went too far. There we go. Didn't go far enough, excuse me. Now we have physical addresses, physical and mailing. Now, it is important that most of these columns are filled out for the address. You have to have an address line one, city, state, zip code, label, and whether it's primary or whether it's your mailing address. These need to be included if you're doing the address. If you only have maybe their city or maybe their state, then it would likely be best to actually take that information and put it in the notes section. Or if you want to be able to filter and search your contacts by it, you can even make it a tag. We'll go over tags here in just a moment, but essentially, tags are labels that help you organize your contacts. It's how you would use those filters that I showed you earlier. You can put your little contacts into groups that way. Okay. So here you would enter your address. Country is optional. The label needs to be one of the four mentioned here: home, work, rental, vacation, or other. And if it is their mailing address, put that capital Y right there. If it is not the same as the mailing address, you don't have to put that Y. However, if you only have one address for them, go ahead and put the Y for mailing, because again, that is what will be used when you are marketing through command. So one of the physical addresses needs to be marked as mailing. Okay. All right. I'm going to slide on over. You do have other options for the physical address. There's the primary address, there's other addresses, and one more, other addresses right here. Okay. So you have three different physical addresses that you can add. I'm just scrolling to the right to get to the other columns to show you. And so right here towards the end of our sheet, you have tags. Notice it says separate with comma. This is that CSV file that I was telling you about. It just works better if it's a CSV file because you can actually separate your tags with commas, and the same with your notes. Same with your sources. So you can actually separate your tags if you had multiple. Let's say, again, you only had the city for this person, or you just wanted to be able to organize your contacts by city. You could put the city name, then you would just do comma, space, and the system would know that's the end of tag one. And now we can create the other tag. Maybe they're a buyer, comma, space. Maybe they are your family as well. So family, and you can keep going. Add as many tags as you would like. In my opinion, you cannot over tag a contact. If there is something distinguishing about your contact that you believe you will want to use in the future, tag it. to give you a bigger scale or a bigger vision of this, when you're doing marketing in your command account, if you're setting things up for like an email campaign or maybe a direct mailer campaign, maybe you're going to run a smart plan that does auto texting every few weeks to your contacts to kind of nurture and keep that relationship going. Whatever it is that you're looking to do, the fastest and most efficient way to add contacts to those marketing pieces is by their tags. So if you have a tag on your contacts like buyer, prospect, lead, things like that, it can only help you organize and add them to marketing faster. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, okay? Next, lead source. Now, I did say that this is also one of those similar columns that you can, hold on one second. I apologize. Somebody is trying to record the session. We do record it ourselves and post it on YouTube. So I did have to deny that request. So I hope you understand, though. We do provide these recordings on our YouTube channel. Okay. So lead source. Your contact can only have one lead source. So I do want to clarify that. It does show that you can separate a lead source with a comma here and put multiple. Just know only one will be selected for that contact. Not sure why this is here. Lead source is where you got that contact, just to help clarify. So since this is family, I mean, you could just put family as the lead source as well. Think about like open house, broker open. Maybe you purchase your leads from a third party. You could put the third party name there, something like that. Notes, this will hold up to 10,000 characters. You can make as many notes as you want to. And just like with our tags, where it was separated by comma and space, you can do that right here as well. So your first note might have been from maybe like your first meeting or something like that, or the first time they mentioned real estate to you. So you could um, put that note here. So note one, and then you can comma, space. And just has to be comma and one space and keep going. Helps if you can count or hit the right key. Next, your social media links. If you have a public link for that contact's social platform profile, think about their Facebook business page or just their Facebook personal page. Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, or Instagram, you can copy those links and paste them right here into this file, and it will add them to that contact's profile. There is some of the targeting that you can do on some of the campaigns that can actually use that information to help with targeting. Okay. And that is the contact command import template. I just wanted to show you how to do that. Let's go ahead, pretend we've saved this document. And once we are done, let's go back over to our command and we would just browse and upload that file right here. You can also drag and drop it if you prefer that method as well. But once we put our file here, it would ask us to confirm and we would be able to import and move forward. It's pretty simple. I am actually going to grab this file really quick to show you. Just a second. Let me stick it where we'll be able to see it clearly on our screen. Just a second. That way you'll be able to see what it does when we move it over there. It'll take it just a second. Okay. Two more seconds. All right, now we're in business. Browse, grab our file. It uploaded. Please know that if you've uploaded a file with that same name before, it won't go through. So you'll want to make sure it's a brand new name and you can click continue. This is what it will show you. If you had more contacts, it would have shown you all the contact names right here on the left. And on the right, it will show you all the information that you included on that particular person. Notice how it got our tags correct. It actually did separate them just like we did with the comma and the space. And you can scroll through and check all that information if you would like. Again, if we had multiple people, we could click on each one as we go down on the left and review their information. and then you would finalize your import. This is most likely going to fail, but it did let us know that your contacts are being imported. If you're working with a large file, it may take a bit. It's just letting you know that, and you can return to contacts. Now you have a blue banner here letting you know that it is importing, and I can refresh or view my import log. You will also get a notification right here at your little bell once that import is done. So we'll click that. Ah, it was successful. Contact import was successful. Usually I get a failure there, guys, because we use the same demo information each time. So that is a great time to point out to you that if you're trying to import a contact that has the same primary information, meaning primary email address or primary phone number as another contact, it will fail to import because the system is identifying that as a potential duplicate contact and is trying to spare you. So it will not import that person. So since we have our little fake name person in here, I try to come up with new information each time, but sometimes I still remember the same phone number or the same email. So it usually fails. If it did fail, it would say contact import right here. Let me know that that some of them failed to import. And I would have a hyperlink in this notification that would let me view my import logs. And I'm going to minimize the notifications. It's the same thing right here. It says view import log. It would take me to my import logs. I'm going to click this just to show you real quick. It brings you to your back settings, into your import logs. Over here on the right, I've got my screen zoomed in so far. Let me find my little bar and slide it over. It's showing you the import that you just did, shows you the file you just imported, how many imported, how many failed, and then would give you an error file right here that you can simply download, and it will show you the exact reason why that contact failed. So you can go back in and fix it and re-import it if you need to. Okay, let's jump back over here to our contacts file. That was how to import with the command template. Now I just want to show you how to do it with your own file. You do not have to use that template. You can simply use your own file as well. So that's what I'm putting up here on the screen to you now, would just be a generic file that you have. Again, maybe you had leads from a third party, or you've exported your files from a third party platform and you have all this information on a spreadsheet in no particular order, right? So this is what you would do in this case. You can use this file. You do not have to change it to be the command template. You just want to make sure, number one, your information is linear. And what I mean by that is you still have columns with all the first names vertically listed here, last name vertically listed here, phone numbers. Does that make sense? Versus some spreadsheets that we see would say first name, last name, phone number here, and then the email here. Okay. This is this is more of stacked information versus having it linear all across, organized into rows and columns. Okay. This will not import correctly at all. So I'm going to delete that. That will not work. There we go. So right here, let me make this even a little bit bigger for you guys. I feel like it's T90 on your screen. So, okay, so this is our file. It does not have to be in any particular order, but it does help if you have like first name, last name, and then your other information. Okay. You will map this information once you import it. I'm going to show you that process. What I mean is, you're going to tell command that this first name column information goes into the first name for the contact and so on. That's why the order of your columns doesn't really matter. You're going to map this manually for them just to make it super easy. So you would enter your contact information here. There's one column that I really hope that you make on this file, no matter what information you have, make a tag column, okay? Go ahead, put tag in the column header, and then add your tags in that you would want for this person. You can even add a bulk tag. That's what we do here with our imports. If we ever do an import for you guys, we add in the word import and put the date. And the reason we do that is so that if anything at all goes wrong with this import, you will have one single tag that you can go and hunt for all the contacts within that import file to get them archived and deleted quickly or to make adjustments that need to be made. Otherwise, if you imported your contacts without what we call a bulk tag, every contact on that spreadsheet having the same tag, you're not going to be able to locate all of those different contacts unless you manually search for each and every one. Okay. So we'll come in and add this. Goodness, I'm talking and not paying attention to what I typed. So there we go. So you would come in and you would just add that tag to as many as you would like, preferably all of the contacts. And then again, if you had different tags you want to add, you would simply do the comma, space, buyer, comma, space, family, whatever it is that you want to add as a tag. Okay. And so and they don't have to be one word either. You can make multiple words in one tag. The system will only create a separate tag once it hits a comma. Okay. I don't see any questions coming in yet, so hopefully I haven't lost all of you guys and we're still tracking together. Um, And so again, you just make sure that your file has what you want on it. Go ahead and scrub that database. Make sure this is all updated information. You have the right phone number for the right person. As long as they have a first name on this file, it will import the person. You don't have to have all the different other pieces, but highly recommend that tag, the blanket tag or the bulk tag, to definitely be on the file at some point. Okay. Once you're done, you can come in here and save your file, and then we're going to upload it into Command. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this file. Give me a second to reposition it so we can bring it in. There we go. So we'll click Imports, browse for our file, and choose your custom file that you were using and click Open. It shows upload was complete. You can replace that file if you need to. And from here, you would click Continue. And this is the mapping process that I was trying to tell you about. You have to explain which column on your spreadsheet matches which command field on that contact. So first name would go in the first name field. Last name would go in the last name field. Phone number, primary phone. Email, primary email. Oh, Michael, fabulous question. He asked on the KW template, the command template we just went over previously, should you delete any columns you don't use? Absolutely not. I am so glad you just pointed that out. Give me 2 seconds and I'm going to open up my file again. I want to show you something with those headers. Michael, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was literally sitting here thinking, I'm missing something. There was one thing I wanted to say, and it was that. It's the headers. Congrats to Michael, star pupil of the day. All right, so tags, you would come over here and scroll until you found the tag field right there, and then hit continue to import. Okay. You can choose to skip some of these fields. It impacts the accuracy of your import. Okay. So don't skip the field unless you just don't want that information pulled in correctly. So again, you would map every column you have on your file to the command field for that contact and hit continue. Now, doesn't this look familiar? This is what it would look like after you imported the template itself. So you would have a list of your contacts on the left, showing their information on the right that they are picking up from this file, and then finalize import. It lets us know that it is being imported, and it'll take just a minute. We'll hit return to contacts. I'm going to hit refresh so that it gives it a second to refresh the screen from those imports. Notice our notification bell just went up one. It ticked from 407 to 408, and our blue banner is gone. So we'll click the notification. Yay, it failed. Okay, good. So I get to show you this example. So contact import, your request contact import failed. Review the log for more details. This is where you can click that download log, and it would take you to that same place I just showed you to view the failed import. So we'll go download log. It's asking to download that file. So instead of taking me back to the back settings, it's just going ahead and letting me download that file. And we'll go ahead and open and see what the error was on this particular one. While it's doing that, I do want to show you those two files again to show you the headers and the differences. I'm so glad Michael brought that up. I'm going to go ahead and open them again. All right, so what you were seeing there on your screen, this is the first one we did with the command template. It's just all little now and zoomed out, but notice that they have the two headers at the top. Those have to stay exactly as they are. You cannot remove one or the other or both. Both of those headers need to stay on that file in order to import correctly. Do not delete any columns, okay? Or don't come up here and change the name of them. They have to stay static or it will fail to import correctly, okay? That's on the command template. But over here on your custom file that you did, you can make the column headers whatever you would like. It just needs to be one row of column headers on this file. So you can delete as many columns as you want, add as many columns as you want, but it needs to only have one row for the header. When the system moves to that row 2, it's going to start reading that as if it were a contact, not another header. Okay, just to be super, super clear. Thank you again, Michael. My goodness. All right, close that file. Now we're going to take a look at the failed file that we had. So here is the failed import log. We will zoom in a little bit so it's not, and I can guarantee you I know what it is. It's because I was trying to show you guys those import tags and how to drag those and apply them to all your contacts. So we'll just keep scrolling over to the right, and in the far, 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 far right column, it will tell you the reason why it was rejected or failed to import. And so there's several different error columns that you can go through here. So depending on what the error was, depends on where the error shows. So if it was a tag error or source error, this is a validation error. And you'll notice right here, our little person we put in, phone number must be a valid phone number. I put in a fake phone number and the system realized that. It read it as a fake phone number, and so it bounced that contact out. It does need to be a valid phone number that you're using. And the other, remember I just had the tag but didn't have any first name or any information. That's why these failed out. It thought this was, or it thought it was contacts listed here with no first name. And so it failed those as well because it was just the tag that I had down there. And that's how you can read your failed contact log. So we will close that file and come back to our command. So that's how you import multiple contacts at a time. And now I'm just going to take a few minutes to go through how to add a contact individually and what that looks like. Over here on the right is an add contact button. This is adding contacts individually. And I do want to give you this tip too. If you guys have phone contacts, you can actually import those directly into your Command Mobile app. Just FYI, there's a tip video on our YouTube channel that'll show you how to do that. So right here, for adding a contact, you would enter the contact's name. You can add a relationship. This means if there's another contact within your database that they are somehow related to, you can add in that contact. So you would choose spouse, mother, father, son, right? whatever it is. There's lots to choose from in here, but you can come in here and choose the topic or the title and go ahead and put your cursor in. Even though it says no options, you just need to begin typing and it will pull up anybody in your contacts with that name and you would choose that contact. It will now add that relationship onto this contact, meaning if you were going to send something like a direct mailer piece of marketing out, it will only send one piece of mail to that same address and list both of their names on the actual label. So it does help to add those relationships in, especially if they have the same mailing address. You would enter their primary email. I'm not going to fill this whole thing out because I want to be able to cover everything today. So we'll do primary email. You have options to choose what kind of email that is. Primary phone goes here. Lead source type, you can choose from the list of all the lead sources you have listed within your system or and that you've created, or you can select from a list of contacts. Maybe you actually met this person through a mutual friend. So you would be able to come here and type in the person's name that introduced you and choose them as the lead contact, as the lead source. Okay. Mark as a lead. If you have not had a real estate conversation yet with this contact, you can click Mark as a lead. Once you have had that real estate conversation with them, you can just come in and uncheck it if you'd like to. That's that little L in the teal circle beside the person's name. That indicates that they are a lead. Okay. Tags. You can add those tags to this contact here if you would like. Um, Anything that you want to add to them. We were talking earlier about, well, what if they're family or what if it was a referral? You can add whatever tags you would like and then add more information. As long as you have that first name, notice that's the only field with the little asterisks, you're good to go and you can go ahead and create this contact. I just want to show you this add more information down here at the bottom to let you know that there's other fields that you can add. Additional contact information, you can include their preferred method of contact, any additional email or phone numbers that they have. If they have multiple, maybe they have a lot, you can add more than just those extra two fields. Addresses. The first address is for the primary address. The neighborhood on your contact will actually pull from your primary address if it is within a designated neighborhood. Remember, your neighborhoods are very important because you can actually set your contacts up on things like a monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan, where they would get an automated email about their neighborhood stats. If you haven't checked out our smart plans overview class, highly recommend that. You can also find the archives on our YouTube. But there's different ways to nurture to your contacts, and one of them is a neighborhood. So you can come in here and add in their address and you just begin typing it and it will actually pull in findings from like Google. So you could just go ahead and choose which one you want and mark same as mailing if it is. Add their social profiles if you would like. The about section lets you enter information like legal name, description, birthday, home anniversary, and also more relationships if you would like to. FYI, birthday and home anniversary, there's smart plans for those too that will help automate your business and help you remember to celebrate folks on their birthday and home anniversary. And then you can come down here to work and enter their company name and their job title. And then you have custom. Custom fields are ones that you've created that would fit a niche in your business. And what I mean by that is like if there's a thing that you specialize in, maybe it's helping seniors purchase, maybe it's helping military relocate, whatever your niche is, you can create a custom field for it so that you can always enter that information onto your contacts. You can even have custom fields here that are multiple choice, like drop down options. So you can come in here and figure that out, or excuse me, and create those custom fields if you'd like. We have tip videos on our YouTube to show you how to do that, but you can click like pie giveaway and it's a drop down. You would choose cherry or apple for that particular custom field that you've created, or there's regular text where you can just type in whatever you'd like. We'll go ahead and create this contact. And this is what a contact profile looks like. Now it automatically brought me here because I created this person, but I want to go back to contacts to show you how to get here. So I'm going to click back to contacts. And this is the contact. This is a different contact, but this is your contact's name, right? When you're looking at your contacts, you can get to their contact profile by simply clicking on their name. And this gives you that same view. Okay. So it'll show you their name, when they were last contacted, the L if they're a lead. If they've registered their own account on your KW Consumer mobile app, you would actually see a green check box, or excuse me, green check mark in a circle right here beside the lead mark, letting you know that they've registered on that. And by the way, that gives you Big Brother access. You would be able to track all the listings they view on your website and on their app, plus more. And you can come down here and see all the information that we entered. These are the neighborhoods right here. You can come in here and manually add more. That primary one is pulling from their physical address. And it will just show you all the information we just entered onto the contact profile. Okay. We'll come back up. You do have a pencil to edit and 3 dots with a few other options. And on the right-hand side, you'll notice more options as well. This is your timeline for this contact, showing you all different activities that they've done. Like we've added neighborhoods to them. We scroll down a little further. You can see a saved search was created. We called them and left a voicemail. We completed a task for them, and so on. Your opportunities. This will show you all opportunities associated with this contact and even give you an opportunity or the chance to create the opportunity from right here within the contact profile. Smart plans. It will show you if this person is added into any smart plans or give you the option to go ahead and directly add them right here. Tasks will show you any task associated with that contact that needs to be completed or create one. Notes, pretty self-explanatory. And saved searches. Saved searches is a feature where you can actually set up criteria for this buyer or for this contact, they could even be a seller, of what they're looking for on the market. So if it's a buyer looking for a 4-bed, 3-bath in a particular area or with certain features, I can come and create this saved search right here within their contact profile and set it up where they can get email notifications or just see it on their app. And they would be able to get notifications of all the new listings that meet their criteria whenever they choose to come, well, excuse me, whenever they come on the market, if they choose to have immediate notifications, or maybe it's a seller and they just want to know what the competition is in their market. So maybe they just chose to have weekly notifications of all the listings that have come on that are similar to theirs. There's all kinds of things you can do with saved searches. The key is that contact will just need to have registered on your app or on your website to receive those. We have more saved search tip videos as well on our YouTube. So you can definitely look into that if you'd like, or just email us if you have questions on how to set those up. But this is where you would create those for your contact. So this is what a contact profile looks like now that we've created our contacts. So we'll spend the last couple of moments just going over some basic functions here within your contacts. So I'm going to go back to contacts. And from right here, I want to show you the option to export your contacts. We touched on this earlier. You can come right here to the 3 dots on the right-hand side and export all owned contacts. This would export a copy of all of your contacts for you. When it is done, it would show up in your notifications and have a link for you to click and download the file. However, let's say it's just a certain amount, like a certain group of contacts. You can come use your filters to set different criteria that you like. So maybe it's somebody or a group of contacts with just a certain tag or from a certain lead source. You would go ahead and apply those filters And once you're viewing the contacts that you want to export a copy of, you can simply select all and notice a hidden menu opens up right here. This is your action menu. It's also referred to as your bulk action menu. But from right here, you also have an export option that you can export just the contacts that you have selected here, not all of them. Okay? Your export mailing labels options are right there as well. Those are your export options to export a copy of your contacts out of Command. The next thing, I want to show you how to bulk add tags to your contacts. So let's say you come in and you've used your filters to view a certain contacts that you want to work with right here. You can also click the select all or choose. Maybe you just want to sit here and click the checkbox beside just a few of them. But once you've selected the contacts you want to choose, you can come to your bulk action menu and you can add tags. And if you scroll down, you could even remove tags. So I'll show you add tags first. You can sit here and search through your list that you already have if you would like. So let's just pick another one. May have to make up a new one. ABC tag. And we can select it to add that particular tag. Or maybe the tag that I want hasn't been created yet. I can simply click create tag, pick the color I want it to be, make sure the name's what I want it to be, and create a tag. At the bottom, it shows two selected. So it selected both ones, the one I just created and the one we already had. And I can continue going through and just adding as many as I'd like and then hit submit. Now my tags have been applied to those contacts. Shows us that banner of success at the bottom right. Sometimes you still won't see the tags added though. You can hit the refresh button on your browser at any point in Command if you're making changes and you don't see it right away, and then they should show. Just today it actually had already started showing those though, so we're good to go there. Same action if you wanted to remove those tags. Select all. From your bulk action menu, you would come down and choose remove tags, and I would come through and remove as many as I want. These are all the tags associated with the contacts that I have selected or contact selected. So I can just come through and say I want to remove those and remove selected. Now it has removed those. Notice that it's still showing that tag right there. I'm going to hit the refresh button and we should be good to go. Just to give you a brief overview of that bulk action to show you what all it will let you do in bulk for multiple contacts at a time. You can add activities, notes, tags. You can add them to an email list. This is a little outdated now, guys. This is if you were going to do an email campaign through Command using MailChimp. I shouldn't say outdated, but if you're going to use MailChimp for your email campaigns instead of Command email, you can add them to an email list here. Add to Smart Plan directly. This is how you can add up to 500 contacts at a time to a Smart Plan. It helps you if you say you had like 1,500 contacts to get on that one Smart Plan. You can do it in chunks of 500 instead of having to individually add them. You can archive your contacts. If you are looking to archive or delete any contact out of Command, it is a two-step process. You have to first archive and then delete. I'll show you that in just a second. And then here you would change account. This is if you're going to move them to your team account from your personal. We went over the export options. You can mark as a lead and then down at the bottom, unmark as a lead in bulk. You can remove tags like we went over. You can choose to send them an email, a one-off email right here within your contacts. So you don't have to run a smart plan or email campaign to actually send out bulk emails. If you have just a one-off email you need to send out to folks, you can do that right here. It's pretty nifty. It will BCC them so they won't know that you're sending it to multiple people. If you have Twilio connected to your command, you can also send bulk text. You can share a copy of this contact. This is just like you sharing the name and information with someone. You will not be able to track that contact with the person that you shared it with. It's just like you giving that contact information to them and they can do whatever they want to with it. Your copy would remain here and show your activity with them. And that's your bulk action menu, just to give you an overview of everything that it offers there. And now, last two things that I just want to make sure we cover here in our last couple of seconds is that archive and delete option I was just talking to you about. If I chose to archive our little guy, we would choose archive from this drop down menu, or you can do it from right within that contact profile. That would send them to the contact archive. Your contact archive is back here. You would click on your name, settings, and over here under command settings, you have contacts. These are some of your contact settings back here in the back. You more than likely will not use these very often at all. I just want you to know where they are located if you ever need them. If you need to come and create those custom fields that I mentioned, here's the tab to do so. If you want to edit your lead sources, this is where you would do it. You can even create lead rules, lead routing rules right here. That's pretty neat. If you have leads coming in from your website and you want them to automatically be tagged and maybe even put immediately onto a smart plan, you can set your system up to automate all of that. So that's where you would do this. You can even adjust your contact tags back here. But here's the contact archive. So if I've archived my contacts, they would live back here until I fully delete them or restore them to my command account. Okay. So it is a two-step process to fully remove them, especially if you're looking to re-import that contact. You need to archive, then delete. If they're just sitting back here in your contact archive and you try to re-import them, it will fail because it still checks your archive to make sure that that contact's not in your system anywhere. So then you would come here and choose restore to command or the trash can to delete them. You can also select all and delete selected permanently that way as well. You can do that in bulk. Okay. You do have a database wipe back here. Highly recommend staying away from this. You can archive all of your contacts from your contacts tab back to your contact archive. And then you can choose to delete all archived contacts. This will permanently delete them and there is no undo button, guys. If this is grayed out for you and you're not even able to use it, it's more than likely you're just on a team and your permissions are set in a way to keep you from making an uh-oh. Okay? All right. Last but not least, 60 seconds. I want to show you how to locate your duplicate contacts and merge them. So I'm going to click back here on your contacts tab. Go to the three dots on the far right-hand side, and you can check for duplicates. This will check all of your command contacts to see if it identifies them as any potential duplicates. It's thinking about it. I'm going to hit that refresh button on my browser. Notice that our notifications ticked up to 408 again. So our database scan is completed here in our notifications. It found 24 pairs of potential duplicates. And now we can review our duplicates. We'll click that. It will take us back here to our settings again where we just were. Remember, under command settings and contacts. This is where we are now under database cleanup. And you can go through and either ignore the suggestion or choose to merge them. We do have a tip video on our YouTube channel that shows you how to do this in detail. So please go and check that out. If you have any questions, you obviously can reach out to us. That concludes the end of our class today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, our email address is support@scottleroymarketing.com. You can reach out to us. If you're here with me live, give me just a second. I'm going to stay with you guys and get these questions answered. Thanks for watching.